Good morning, America! It's the DJ Wonder Chrissy here at Land Cruiser Midwest and Migrant Mayhem. Today we're going to be talking about the American auto industry. Yeah! Some more collapse for you. Let's get ready. Let me get the things ready to go here. Let's see if I can find my last video. I saw a great video to show you guys. Let's see if I can pull that up and we'll get going. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get this video ready to go. 1 minute for you guys. Hang on, I almost got it here. There we go. Let's bring the music down. Let's bring the music down and let's get this video ready to go. There you go. All right, so if you guys don't know, I'm really into the car industry. I love cars, but I hate Ford cars. I hate American cars too. They're kind of trashy cars, except for the high-end ones. But anyway, I've got some information from my automotive insider here, who's we got some tea leaves here. Let me get my glass out here with my tea leaves. Got some tea leaves here in my glass. What is in here? We're gonna find out. In case you don't know it, you can tell by looking at the auto dealerships around you. People are not buying new cars, let alone used cars. We got a video here of Stellantis. Just came out, I believe. Let me double check that. I think it just came out recently. Yeah, came out yesterday that Stellantis, which is Dodge, Ram, Jeep, the old Chrysler Corporation, and which technically now is a foreign automaker, no longer considered a U.S. automaker at this point, which is a kind of a scary thought, is going to be cutting further. So let's dive into this video and find out more about Stellantis's massive job cuts coming up. So let's give it a whirl here.
After last week's Stellantis investor meeting, CEO Carlos Tavares promised a massive cost-cutting effort. And it's looking as though it will mean considerable job loss for Metro Detroit, particularly at the Auburn Hills office tower. And that's where we find our business editor, Rod Maloney. Rod, not good news at all for the employment picture around here.
No. And this ties into what I said yesterday. We're talking about layoffs. The American corporations are getting into kind of a spiral death spin when it comes to layoffs, because as more companies cut heads, other companies are going to do the same thing. It has a downwind perspective. So if one company's cutting, the suppliers have got to cut. So it just kind of feeds on itself. So listen to what's going on with our old Chrysler Corporation.
I've been getting rumblings that there could be some hefty layoffs here in Auburn Hills, and Carlos Tavares came to town last week essentially telling everyone, and he did it deliberately coming here, that he's aiming at this building right here, a building that Lee Iacocca once told me was paid for by the profits made with the minivan.
It's a great point.
When your CEO comes to town from Europe saying...
We have at least 2 plants in the U.S. that need a significant turnaround. At least 2.
And tells you he's sending European plant managers to come clean up the mess, It should get your attention. But then he talks about what he calls an EV-first strategy and cost-cutting to compete globally with Chinese automakers.
By the way, when we compare to Leapmotor, those 30% cost competitive edge I'm always talking about.
Yes, you did hear that right. He's looking to cut 30% of Stellantis costs. Auto analyst John Mackle.
That's a huge number, folks. 30%, 30. That is huge. If you're working for Stellantis or a supplier to Stellantis, I would start making sure you got some cash saved up and you've got a plan. You've got a plan in case you get axed. And they mentioned it in here. Yeah, he's coming out cutting costs, not with surgical razor blades. He's using an axe here to cut costs.
Roy says.
Well, he's going after the company with an axe right now to get
There you go.
Which will no doubt send a massive shockwave through the industry.
I think that the old Chrysler Group, as we've known it in Auburn Hills, is going to be a mere shadow of itself in just a couple of years.
And John says the job loss is likely to be significant.
But they're going to take a lot. A lot. We're talking thousands of people.
The old Chrysler Group makes the most money for Stellantis, but also is the biggest cost and set of problems, which means outsourced engineering to low-cost countries like Turkey and Morocco is on the table, which means the old headquarters building is likely headed the way of the Wren Center.
Now, my information from my insider at Ford has similar information about moving. And Ford has already moved out of this country a lot of engineering. So we'll talk about that after this video.
The tower almost undoubtedly will be up for sale. Stellantis doesn't need all that office space anymore.
Now, I did call Stellantis Media Relations today. The building was closed for the holiday. They didn't have anybody who could respond to this. But again, I'm hearing rumblings of some big layoffs that could be coming as early as July. In the meantime, I asked John, I said, look, what does this mean for the domestic three? He says, oh, you mean Ford, GM, and Tesla? He said, Stellantis is no longer an American company. It is a foreign company. Reporting live, Rod Malone.
Wow. Take those words to heart. All right, Rod.
So there you go. I've had, they've all passed, but I've had relatives that worked for Chrysler for many, many years. I had a great uncle who worked in the factory and a uncle who was in the finance organization for many years, who's now passed away. But anyway, it is no longer the Chrysler that you and I know. So let's get to, you guys, y'all know that I bash Ford. Quality is job, we think about it later, is their motto. Not because I hate Ford, it's just that they make crappy stuff. My father had a Ford. When I was a kid in the 80s, he had a Ford Granada, and that thing rusted like a rust bucket within 5 years. It was a piece of dog doo-doo. And their stuff hasn't gotten much better. Granted, their trucks are probably one of their high-flying things, but there's not a lot of quality in Ford. Let's just say that. That's the truth. They are one of the most recalled auto brands in the world for years running now, and show no signs of slowing down. They don't make cars really that much anymore. They just make the Mustang, and that's about it. They got rid of the Taurus. They're a truck company at this point. So let's talk about some of the information that I'm getting from my insiders, who are telling me that half of engineering is done in Mexico for Ford. Right now, as of today, half of engineering is done in Mexico. He's saying there's 20,000 white-collar workers, engineers, and designers in a new engineering design center in Mexico City. So that sucking sound that you heard last couple of years, that was Ford quietly moving all their jobs to Mexico City. Yeah, those were all quality American jobs being moved to Mexico City, guys. 20,000 jobs, according to my insider. He also goes on to say 3,400 people will be laid off in the U.S., Europe, and Australia by the end of the year. Yeah, that's probably a given. That's a given. Ford was until they reversed course. They just reversed course recently. They were on the EV Joe Bergen train for the last 2 years, and I think Ford took a huge wallop on the Joe Bergen EV train. If you guys weren't aware, they came out and made no bones about it that they were losing like $60,000 to $65,000 per car. Let me say that again. Ford was losing $65,000 on every EV car that they produced, and it wasn't getting much better. So within the last couple of months, their CEO has come out on record and said that, hey, we are changing course. We are going to focus on hybrids. So Ford is now focusing on hybrids, and that's the new course that they are running, so they don't run out of money. I mean, they tried. Look, I'll give them a A for effort. They tried to push the EV stuff, but I kind of wonder if the Chinese have already. Let me look at my tea leaves here again. Got our special mug. Let's look at the tea leaves. I'm wondering if the Chinese and Tesla have almost wrapped up the EV market. I also hear from news reports that there are Chinese EV manufacturers building factories as we speak in Mexico. So China is going to be rolling out EV vehicles made in Mexico in the next couple of years. My insider also says that there's Chinese EVs on the roads in Mexico. Many Chinese EVs already on the roads, not necessarily made in Mexico, but maybe made in China. They've already made their way into Mexico, and people are driving them down there. So coming to a auto dealership near you maybe in the near future, unless somebody puts a stop to it. We already have in this great state of Illinois, they've already set up a battery factory in the Kankakee area. I think they got pushed out of Michigan so hard that they decided to set up shop in Illinois, where we welcome them with open arms. I think we even gave them a subsidy. Our wonderful jelly belly governor decided that he was gonna, he's on the EV train, the Joe Bergen EV train. So he brought them to our state, and I think they're ramping up right now. They're making batteries and gonna start up supplying batteries to Ford, I would believe, over in Michigan. So there you go. We got Womb with a View says she likes to hitchhike everywhere. Yeah, hitchhiking, that was a big thing in the 70s and the 80s. You got to be careful out there on the highways. A lot of people disappear, you know what I mean? And especially with the newfound migrants on board in the United States, I don't think I would be walking the highways and byways by myself for sure, especially without some nice protection. So be careful if you're hitchhiking out there. And actually, you're not allowed on the highways walking. You gotta get your ride before you get on the road in order to be legal. They'll pick you up like fried cheese, folks, real quick if you're walking the highways of the United States. So welcome to the show, folks. DJ Wonder Chrissy. We're talking about the collapse of the American auto industry. It's happening. It's happening. Just look at the car dealerships around you. They are chock full. I also heard the average monthly payment in the last 2 years have gone from like $520 to $770. The average new car monthly payment has gone from $500 to $700 a month, folks. That is not sustainable. Who can afford that? Tell me, who can afford $700 a month for a new car? That is just virtually ridiculous. So that's showing you the cost of vehicles have not come down much since the jabby. So people are, I know, I've made this comment several times that as I drive around the highways and byways in suburban Chicago, I'm seeing cars that I have never seen before on the road. And by that I mean cars that are rusted through, cars, most cars put together with duct tape and tapes of all sorts, plugging holes up. It's getting bad out there. I believe that there's people going to junkyards buying cars for $50 to $100 and slapping some plates on them and driving them around. I'm seeing jalopy. I'm gonna call them jalopies. I've been seeing jalopies around since the winter, like you would not believe. There's cars that I would not consider driving, and you know the holes and everything in these cars. You would think that the people driving them would be asphyxiated with gas fumes. It's getting crazy out there, at least around here in suburban Chicago. If it has wheels and they still roll, people are driving it. I think I saw a report that said the average life of a car right now is 12 years. So the average car on the road life age is 12 years right now, which is the most it's ever been. So that's probably right there explains why I'm seeing cars that have rusted through and are barely held together with duct tape. So it's not good. It's not good. Look for, as we just showed you, Stellantis, which is our Jeep, Chrysler, Dodge, Ram corporation is going to be cutting some heads big time. I think they committed to building, we've got a Belvedere close to me here by Rockford, Illinois. Used to make some Jeeps out there. They closed that down a couple of years ago, but now they're bringing something back there. I believe they're going to have a big parts depot there. They're consolidating a lot of their parts to Rockford, and they might even be producing a car out there. I haven't seen anything recently, but supposedly Jeep is supposed to be Jeep Chrysler is supposed to be consolidating a lot of their parts warehouses from the United States into Rockford, which makes sense because Rockford has a very underutilized airport. So anybody shipping out of in and out of a location, Rockford is a great place to do that. I think UPS, the guys in the brown trucks, they have a hub out of Rockford, so they fly in planes and packages in and out of Rockford quite heavily. I know when I worked for Motorola many years ago, they had a repair depot in the Rockford area, and they chose that area because they could fly in and out the radios that needed to be repaired via UPS and get them in and out in a quick fashion. So that was one of the reasons why they picked the Rockford area for their depot. So I suspect that's the same why Jeep and Stellantis has decided to utilize they have a huge facility in Belvedere that they're going to be doing something with to revitalize it, and they've also bought some extra land out there, some cornfields around it, so they can expand in the near future. So we'll see how it goes. But that used to be, I mean, there was like probably 5,000-6,000 auto workers working out there in the heyday. They were making all sorts of cars. They used to make the Dodge Neon out there. They made some Jeep vehicles. They made a little bit of everything out there through the years, but as of like 2 years ago, they're doing nothing out there. Nothing. They're waiting to retool and bring some more jobs to Northern Illinois. All right, so that's all I have about Ford for today. Give you guys some insider information. It's not good information. Be looking for more layoffs, folks. I mean, you're going to see every day. You're going to see it for the next couple of months. If not once a day or every other day, you're going to see some major company hitting the headlines with laying people off left and right. It's happening, folks. The collapse is starting to pick up speed. I'm telling you. Get ready. Be prepared. And it may be you that finds yourself without a job. So you better get ready. You better get prepared, because if you're not, you're going to be looking for something to save you, and there's not going to be anything there. You're going to be a victim. You're going to be a victim of the system. You don't want to be that. So get prepared, folks, because your job could be next. That's all I got to say. So let's end this show as we always end the shows, with goodbye, and like, share, and subscribe. And hey, folks, see ya.